And she captured the crucial video showing exactly what happened when Alex Pretti was shot and killed by DHS officers.
After Alex was taken away in the ambulance, the amount of ICE agents that were on scene became more aggressive. They started brandishing their weapons and kept elevating. These military tanks start to roll down Nicollet Avenue, and I got a call from one of my loved ones saying, "Stella, they're looking for you. You need to get to safety. They're looking for the girl in the pink jacket." And everyone's like, "Hide the jacket." So this amazing woman offered to trade coats with me, offer me a head wrap, and anything I needed to disguise myself. I want all of us to feel more comfortable coming forward and not be threatened by this administration on this level. The more of us that do that, the less of us are individually at risk.
The pink coat lady is speaking out, and it turns out hers was the written witness testimony that we saw a couple days ago that the state of Minnesota was collecting because they knew that the federal government would not do a proper investigation. Almost immediately after Alex was executed by Border Patrol agents there in the streets of Minneapolis, the internet was saying, as they saw videos from multiple witnesses, the woman in the pink coat is going to have the clearest view of what happened.
And her name, which is being revealed for the first time, is Stella Carlson.
Why have you decided to come forward?
I really believe that America wants the truth, and we all have a reason in which we decide to go to the street and open our phones and video record. And I just feel called to be somebody to show my face and represent that. We ask the ICE agents and all of the people in the streets who are infiltrating and making us unsafe to do the same thing. So this is an opportunity for me to show my face. It was an assassination in full view in the middle of the streets of somebody who has served our country.
How long have you been involved with monitoring law enforcement actions here?
Only the past 3 weeks, the month of January, since they've been infiltrating our streets, kidnapping people off the street. So since the beginning, I was doing meal delivery 3 weeks ago and trying to make sure that I was a part of the mutual aid. That moved to crisis response and just walking my neighborhood, most specifically the schools, and making sure when school got out that there were enough bodies in the area for people to just feel safe.
So Saturday morning, what were your plans Saturday morning?
Saturday morning, I was booked to be at a church to face paint for 3 hours for their community gathering.
You're going to be face painting kids?
Yes. I had some downtime. I got ready a little too quick that day.
So you heard the whistles somewhere
close by
and decided to drive there?
Yes. When I turned onto Nicollet Avenue, my plan was to just drive by and kind of assess what is going on.
When did you see Alex Pretti? What interaction did you have with him before the camera was rolling?
Yeah, so when I turned, the caravan of vehicles of ICE agents, I could tell were starting to kind of move in and block us in. I could have probably gotten through, and I'll be clear to say that as I went, I was almost going to be driving past Alex, and I did think of Renee Good in that moment, because as I looked forward, I was seeing somebody on the ground being tackled by agents. I saw another vehicle coming the other direction trying to drive through, getting tackled by agents, and they were punching the windows. So at that moment, I was like, I need to not go forward. And I looked at Alex, he looked at me, and he pointed to the parking spot, and I was like, okay, just park.
One of the things that strikes me right away is her courage. She could have remained anonymous while getting the recording out there. She made the point that these ICE Border Patrol cowards have their faces covered with masks. She's willing to put herself out there and reminding us that this is in the wake of Renee Good. She is driving along a Minneapolis street within a few weeks after Renee Good was murdered by ICE. A similar scenario where her car is at risk of being boxed in by the agents.
When you hit record, Alex Pretti is in the frame. Did you know him in advance?
I did not.
You then kind of moved to focus on two women who are having a closer interaction with Border Patrol agents. And Alex Pretti crosses the frame and has his video camera in his right hand and is seems to be directing traffic with his left.
It took me a minute to get my phone going because I was shaking already. But I have thought about this a lot, and there were so many agents and so many bystanders and people being abused. I honestly blocked all of that out. In the moment, I saw one of my community members in the street alone, directing traffic, and nobody else was around. I was like, okay, Alex is filming these ICE agents and the traffic. I'm going to film him. So I was his backup, is how I felt about it in my risk assessment.
Did you say anything to him?
To Alex?
Yeah.
No, we never did speak.
Kristi Noem said that Alex Pretti, quote, approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm handgun. She's implying he was brandishing a weapon.
Absolutely not. And in fact, I am grateful that I was in a position to be there for my community and for our whole state to stop the lies and the madness and allow there to be proof of that.
Your video and the video of others, but your video in particular, is essential proof to what actually happened.
Yeah.
They are right there. The women, Mr. Pretti, and the law enforcement agents. Do you have a sense of roughly how many feet away you were? Because when you see it from other angles across the street, you are clearly visible. It looks like you're up against a storefront. He and they are sprayed with a chemical agent. Do you remember seeing that?
You know, it's so wild, I don't. There was a certain point in filming where I was looking at the camera because, you know, when you're filming, you're like, okay, I'm filming. Once she was pushed down, I knew I was filming something. Before, I was just kind of filming in case something happens. Once something starts happening, my brain just went into like, there's something happening.
Did it seem to you in that moment, and having looked at the tape, that those agents were angry? Were emotional?
I think they're rested in a calm anger, which is terrifying. I think because of the protections that have been given to them, I don't think they have a reason to feel anything but confident about what they're doing, and that this is some type of video game.
There's actually a video of an agent somewhere else saying, oh, this is like Call of Duty. You think some of them think of it as a video game, and they have been promised so-called absolute immunity, which does not exist, by J.D. Vance and Stephen Miller, and it doesn't exist. But let's not forget, these guys are still walking free. As far as we know, they're still on the job, still on the streets, and brutalizing community members in one place or another.
And before you knew it, pow, 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 and I saw Alex on the ground. And then there's nobody around. After he was shot, the agents fled, and all I saw was Alex on the ground.
One of the things that's shocking about the number of shots is that the last 5 shots or so are actually from a distance where he appears already lying on the ground, not moving.
I mean, I watched him die. I remember him arching his back and his head rolling back, and it was so fast moving, but not for me. Just no way was I going to leave Alex by himself, undocumented. Like, that wasn't an option. I mean, obviously somebody was just executed in the street. I knew I was in danger. We all were, but I wasn't going to leave if we weren't all cleared out. And if it wasn't for the collective actions over the past 3 weeks, I don't know if I would have been able to stay that long. But I knew that this was a moment, and we all have to be brave, and we all have to take risks, and we're all going to be given moments to make that decision. People are feeling like there's nobody here to help us. There's nobody who can step in to protect us. And I think people are at a loss and shooken, like, what do we do? What can we do? What is in our constitutional rights that don't seem to matter?
This is where we are as a country, when everyday community members are the ones defending this American democracy and our Constitution, and real people with whistles and cell phones. She was on her way to church to paint kids' faces for a few hours, and she is talking about the most fundamental expression of humanity, of being there for your neighbors and of having the courage to do so by recording the video and then giving the written testimony to the state of Minnesota, and now actually sharing her name and going on TV to tell her story.
And I'm grateful to anybody who was supportive to me after, to make sure I could get to safety and get that video uploaded to the right people.
4 days after this shooting, you have not been contacted by anybody from the FBI or the federal government. Right. What does that tell you?
That they're protecting themselves and they don't care about the truth of what happened.
2 of them fired guns to kill Alex Pretti, and they're still at work. And I think that they will find out at some point down the road that they can be prosecuted for their crimes. In the meantime, we have video that Alex was recording originally. Then Stella was recording of Alex's murder.
Yeah, I hope that me coming forward and doing this allows others to do it with me. I think there's safety in more of us taking those risks.
Yeah.
But I understand we cannot all do that. I care about my community, I care about my state and my country. And this is one small thing I can do.
And a lot of us can do that and hopefully never witness something as traumatic and horrific as Stella did. But she's right. All we have is us. All we have is each other. And she mentioned mutual aid, and I will share a couple links in the description below to some of the mutual aid that has been organized for the people of Minnesota as they experience all this. I hope that one day, whenever it is, the family of Alex Pretti gets some kind of justice. And in the meantime, I hope that Stella has a sense of safety and some comfort in knowing that she helped to make that happen. A lot of people around the country and all over the world recognize what she did and have her back.
I remember people saying, "You're really going to wear that pink jacket?" I'm like, I know. I want them to see me. Isn't that the idea? Like, be seen, be heard? But I think it's also a testament that it's important to not let them intimidate you and to not change your person because they want you to go inside or wear darker clothes or look like a threat. Like, I'm going to be pink and glittery and whatever I choose to be and blow a whistle.